The Frolic Mills Show! Frolic and his guests discuss how to make a real-life living in Second Life so you too can find out how top content creators and virtual artists ended up on top of their game. And now, put your hands together for Frolic! Oh, baby. Mills!
And welcome everybody to the Frolic Mills Show. A pleasure to be back for a third season. Thank you, Metaverse TV, and welcome everyone. Today I have two great guests that will be talking about their lives, how they made it, how they got here. The Frolic Mills Show is all about discovering the lives of great avatars and how they came up with solutions and a great game for themselves. My first guest, Mr. Dazza Staheli, Byngo Bonus owner. Now, I want to introduce him as you may be wondering if you don't play bingo, why I have this person. And I've always said that I'm not, a person to go around SL playing games. I don't play Zingo, I don't play Greedy, I don't play anything. But I discovered this little game called Bingo where one can sit in the privacy of my own sim and play against the entire grid. And I thought that was very innovative. Each person who has a bingo board in their place plays against each other, and I found that incredibly new and refreshing. Welcome, Mr. Dazza Staheli. Welcome.
Thank you,
everybody. Yeah. Okay, Dazza, tell me about bingo. How did you start? I want to know the beginnings of your Second Life. What were you like as a newbie, and how did you discover SL, and what were you doing in your first 3 or 5 days of SL? Were you having sex like everybody else, or what?
To be honest, my first, week, I was on the login island, and I thought, wow, this is fun. I didn't really see the TP out button, and I spent 5 days going around the help island, and couldn't get anywhere. But I nearly actually closed it off and thought, well, that's a load of rubbish. But once I got into it, I think from day one, it was pretty much gambling. It was back then when I started, casinos and one thing and another were allowed, and of course everybody just gambled. It was just the natural way. A very lonely existence, to be honest. It was very, very lonely. You just go around from one casino to another playing roulette. Right. But of course, once Linden Labs decided that gaming was banned and we could not wager on here anymore, the whole thing just went basically up in the air. Then it was a free-for-all for people like myself and other creators, and certainly for 2013. It was just a free-for-all for everyone. So really, I think from day one, I started working on Sims with games on and things like that, and getting to know a lot of people. And I think once you get to know people, you then start to build up a reputation. And I think that's where it really started from. Just sort of meeting people, becoming friendly with people, and just building up a good sort of friend base.
Right. Yeah, and that is important indeed. Community is all, as far as I'm concerned, in Second Life. And but Bingo was not your first game, was it?
No. We've made a few trial and errors. Along the way, we've had some very, very successful games. Wacky Animals was the first big game we made, which subsequently we don't own anymore. But that was the first big one. But Greed or No Greed, again, it was an evolution of another creator's game that we turned into a more, for want of better words, legal game, shall we say, that is allowed on Second Life. But I think me and the team, I think we've always wanted to make multiplayer games, big games, community games where people can interact. Social interaction is the big thing. That is what it's all about to me.
Right. I have a question with this. What makes a game legal in SL to what it doesn't? And what I understand is that if it's based on human ability, then it's accepted. But if it's only based on luck, then it's not. And I know yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, mate. Yeah, there's a few definitions of what is right and what is wrong. In my eyes, and certainly from the people that I've talked to in Linden Labs and everything else, the definition is human input, basically. You can't press a button and let the machine or game do a function and you win, without you having to do something, basically. I mean, some people call it skill aspect, but using skill aspect can sort of blur the lines a little bit. Really, what it comes down to is the fact that you yourself have to do something in order to be paid out from that game. The game, you can't just press a button, say, and then be paid out for doing nothing. So,
right. So why would Zingo, for example, be accepted? Because I don't know that it's... I mean, yes, you have to press a button and you have to know what to press and that kind of thing, but that seems to me like it's more luck than it is human.
Yes.
I mean, with the bingo bonus, I get that if you miss a number, well, you're screwed. So I can see why you have to be very attentive to the board and that kind of thing. But, yeah.
To put it another way, I mean, a very simple way of explaining it is the bonuses that we've built into the game. I mean, if I gave you a card exactly the same as my card, okay, so we both had exactly the card, and now the game is going to shout the same numbers out for both of us. Now, if we've both got exactly the same card, because of the bonuses and the way you have to use the bonuses, the outcome of the game for both of us will be different.
Correct, yes.
You see, that's the definition of that, anyway, definitely.
Got it. Okay, awesome. All right, listen, is bingo bonus your biggest thing? Or is something else bigger?
For the last sort of 2 years, we had Greed or No Greed, which, we still got it, and we're evolving that now into a similar style as Bingo Bonus, but making it full grid-wide, real-time. But yeah, Bingo Bonus is probably getting there. It's getting up in the big area now, but I think with Bingo and it's got an attraction for so many different type of people. It's got a variable buy-in, for instance, which allows people that can only afford small amounts of money to play. And there's also the high roller aspect, which allows the bigger people, the people with a lot more lindens to play. So I think it caters for a lot more. And we were always going to be onto a winner, as I think Bingo is one of the biggest games in real life that's played, sort of worldwide. And I think everybody knows how to play it, as it's a fairly simple concept of a game. But
well, I have to agree with you, Dazza. I mean, I'm not much of a gamer, like I said. I don't play around a lot. I mean, I don't have time for it. But, I discovered your game, and I was like, wow, I want to have my bingo. And every time I have, I'm always producing a show. I'm always producing TV. I'm always, doing a magazine. I'm interviewing here. I'm doing all kinds of things. And yet I find time just about every night to sit down for about 30 minutes and play bingo. And I'm like, and I see the pots that go up to 600,000 lindens, in a week or two, and I go, wow, a lot of people are playing this, and so I can only imagine what's happening in your real life pocket, Mr. Dazza. Are you becoming rich with this?
That's a question. Yeah, actually, I'm glad you mentioned that, actually, because I mean, there are 6 in my team. I mean, we've got 2 scripters. I mean, there's Gandhi Kid, Ayel, Larry Yukov. Then obviously there's Des Orca, Cheyenne, who are my American business partners, and then there's Mesa, my girlfriend, who's also, obviously part of the team. So there are 6 of us in the team. It probably took about, I would say, 8 to 9 months to create the game, because I think what people don't quite understand is it's like a swan. Above the surface, what you see is a smooth running, fairly calm game. But underneath the water, it is pedaling like a good one. I mean, it is really going like the clappers. And behind the scenes, what we are doing is immense amount of work, to be honest. To keep that game running the way it's running is a lot of work. It is hours and hours and hours. But financially, I mean, if we divided up between the 6 people equally what we make, and with our server costs, our overheads, and whatever, then I would say I couldn't retire on it, put it that way, and I couldn't give up my real life job on it. So, it's not. Yeah, I wouldn't say it was a life changer, but it's certainly enough to mean that I don't have to upload money into Second Life to play. I don't have to worry about money on Second Life, and I can live a very comfortable life with it. But I think if one man on his own did it, which I think would be impossible, but if one man did do it on his own, then yeah, he would make a very nice living off it. So. So yeah, I'm not going to say we don't make money. Of course we make money, else we wouldn't do it. But it is not what people think when they see big 600,000 super pots. And it's
Well, there you go. I was about to propose marriage, and now I'm not. So there you go. Thank you, Dazza, for your honesty. And okay, now that I know there's a secret project coming on, and you spoke to me about this, and I'm so excited. And damn you, because you told me not to mention it, but I can't. I can't resist to just say just a little bit.
Well.
Wait, let me say it, and then you can say something if you want, okay?
Okay.
So that came to me with an idea that he's working on, and let me just say something. The way we shop fashion in Second Life will be changed forever. This man is brilliant. He is coming up with something. It is going to be big. Every fashion designer will want to be involved, and I see a lot of designers here. So that's I cannot wait till interview you again so you can fully explain this and tell people, bloggers and fashionistas, what's going to happen very soon.
I know this one's right up your street, mate, and I know it's something that you're obviously very, very interested in. But yeah, I mean, we are working on a system that, like as you said, it will change. I mean, I'm all about pushing boundaries. I think over the time of Second Life, since certainly the years I've been on here, I've seen various teams push the limits of what Second Life can do. I mean, for instance, in the gaming fraternity, there was a Jaded team who basically they opened up a floodgate at a time when gaming was in chaos and nobody really knew what was legal, what was meant to be done. What Jaded did was they opened up a gate of grid-wide gaming. They were the first to do it, and basically everybody and their grandmother then jumped on the bandwagon, even us included. So they pushed the boundary, and then all we've done with Byngo, for instance, is pushed it a little bit more. We've just pushed it to the absolute extreme. Now, with this new project that you're mentioning now, I mean, that one is pushing the boundaries again of what is physically possible in Second Life. And I think what I'm trying to do, or what we're trying to do certainly, is create a more realistic Second Life. And I think that's important. I think people can relate to real life very easily when they're in Second Life, and I mean, who wants to go around, well, excuse the pun, but who wants to go around sex shops and look at fake, so what we want to do is basically create something that feels real, that looks real, and that is exactly what we did with Byngo, really. We made a real-time game where people, just like in real life, will play against each other at exactly the same time with exactly the same numbers. And obviously with this new fashion project, that is something that will happen, where you will be able to shop and buy fashion and do things. I don't want to go too far into this product, to be honest, but you can see I'm skirting very carefully around the edges of this, yes. But yeah, basically do things that haven't been able to be done before. So yeah.
All right. Well, thank you, Dazza. And I'm going to tell you, I know a lot of people here are waiting for that Sunday game. Just so you know, there is a Sunday at noon special bingo that is played by people who qualified. The way you qualified into that is by playing bingo with 2 or 3 other people or more in one room. And then if you get enough points, you qualify. You have to get 20 points to qualify for the special noon every Sunday game. It's a big, big pot. I'm actually qualified, and I'm hoping my next guest, Mr. Costa Rica, will not take all of my time so I can run out of here and play my bingo game. Thank you, Dazza. You have a great thing on your hands. If you guys want to find out more about Byngo, we certainly have a Byngo bonus right here at the Country Club in Basel, and there's a lot more. You can join Byngo bonus group, and there's going to be all kinds of places for you to go to. Thank you, Dazza, and if you want to start playing, go ahead. It's a fun game. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Frolic. You take care, mate. Thank you.
And you too. All right, and we're going to hold for just a second till we get our next guest right here. I'll give him a little introduction. Giancarlo Takacs, a visionary, a man who opened probably what is considered a place to for community and elegance and chicness. The Costa Rican Sims have been talked about and blogged about so many times. He is here with us. I have heard some rumors in the past week or so that he sold it, that he got rid of it. I wanted to know why, what happened. Anyways, Mr. Giancarlo Takacs is right here with us. Welcome, Jan.
Hey, Frolic. So good to see you, my friend.
All right, so Giancarlo, I've met you from day
Thank
one.
you, Silvano.
I don't know if any of you know the story behind Giancarlo and me, but Giancarlo and I were two starving little Latino models back in 2007 looking for model work. And I remember my first agency I ever got into was Mad Agency. And one day, Kirk and Maddox called me and goes, Frolic, there's some Latino people here. Can you come and translate for me? I'm like, yeah, sure. And so I go, and well, one of the guys that was supplying that day was Mr. Giancarlo Takacs, and he looked a little bit too much like me, and I was like, ew, no, he looks like me. He can't be a model here. And he was very funny. And anyways, we accepted him. We had fun together. We were drag queens together. He played Donna Summer. I played Barbara Streisand in one very special number we did for Mad Agency. And life went on. I became Mr. Bossel. He became Mr. Costa Rican Sims. Giancarlo, I know it takes a hell of a lot to build what you did, and I want to know how you started. Even though I know the story, people may want to hear it. How was the vision of Costa Rican? How did it become to be what it was?
Well, first of all, I have to say to Ramona and to my boyfriend over here that, yes, I was wearing two boots. I mean, that happens with Phoenix with me. I don't know why, but I think it's fixed. So I apologize for being such a bad fashionista. Well, Costa Rica Sims started in August of 2007. My avatar rests in June, actually 1 week after yours, I think, Frolic. And the original idea was pretty much to promote my real life country and to recreate in Second Life the natural wonders Costa Rica is known for worldwide.
Yeah, I remember that, and then I remember you started with like 5 or 6, and then it became 7, and then it became 10, and it just grew and grew and grew and grew. How was that? How was that work for you?
Well, it actually began with one just single region. Yeah, and as you mentioned, you and I somehow got together. I mean, I don't remember how we met, but I remember it was very early on in our second lives that we met, and then we became parts of the KMAT enterprise family, and our avatars somehow became really popular in those days as models. Yours much bigger than mine, and then a lot of people were visiting. Of course. a lot of people were visiting where I was creating the national parks of Costa Rica, and they were so much in love with the landscape and terraforming. And a lot of people were saying, you know what, you should put some parcels for sale. And I was, nah. I've been living for 3 months, I said, at some huge estate here in Second Life, and I haven't made any neighbors. So I thought to myself, it is impossible to have a community. Somehow all the models that came and said, you know what, put some parcels for sale and we will move there because we love it. And that was in September of 2009, I don't remember. It's 2009, I think. And there's no 7, I'm sorry. And again, all the models moved, and since day one, we really, really attached to fashion and beauty and models and modeling and everything in Second Life. And that's how we started. And by December of that year, we had like 7 Sims, and then by the end of last year, we have over 100. So yeah.
That's great. Now, Giancarlo, I know that in order to be successful in Second Life, one must fall in love and put a lot of passion into whatever it is that we're doing. Now, I have had my share of offers, to buy Bossel, and you have no idea.
I do have an idea.
Well, yeah. And it's something that it's so dear to me that I don't know if I would ever sell Bossel. Now, what happened? I know with landowners specifically, one tends to think that there's a lot of drama in the fashion world, and God knows I've seen my share of that. But I know, one business that I probably will never get into is land, because I know every person who who's in land, wants to have a dog, and they go, "Can you come over here and fix my plant? Can you water my plant while I'm away?" I mean, people are so peculiar with land and their house and their little garden and whatever. And I think I would kill them all, if I'm honest with you. So I have decided not to get into that particular business. How do you deal with all of that happens with land people?
Well, to answer the first part of your question, you mentioned the key word, and that is love. Mm-hmm. Costa Rica Sims was created out of love for my country, and that's how it grew to what it was before the Dream Seeker State acquired a couple of weeks ago. It was not difficult to let it go because at the beginning of the negotiations, we were going to merge both companies. Dream Seeker is an amazing company. They're the third largest estate in Second Life, and Costa Rica has what is considered by many one of the most recognizable, loved, and respected brands in Second Life. Mm-hmm. So the idea was to bring the best of both companies into one and help both companies grow even bigger. Later on, a beautiful thing happened to me that hasn't happened in many, many years, and is that I fell in love with someone that I met here in Second Life, which is actually in the audience.
By the way, I have this guy called Lunatico saying, "Oh, Frolic, you're so sexy, you're so hot." I wonder who that person is.
And
is that your boyfriend? Oops. Sorry.
and the idea, I mean, and one day we were talking, and everybody knows here that relationships takes time. I mean, relationships takes dedication and basically a lot of time. So we were talking, and I haven't been in love for many, many years. And I thought actually, and I was talking to a friend earlier, that this was never gonna happen to me again, but it did. So I thought to myself, you know what? I mean, I want to concentrate. We actually, both of us thought we want to concentrate in the relationship, and we're few of the lucky ones that live in the same country, so we were able to move it from Second Life to real life. But then we decided, you know what? I mean, we've been dating for quite some time now, and what about if we try to move in together? And I thought, well, that's kind of cool, and kind of rushed the decision, but we can make it, I guess. So we decided to move in together. We're actually in the process of moving together. We just got the place, and we're waiting for some furniture and stuff. And then the other day we were talking, and he said, you know what? I mean, there's so many things that we love in Second Life, and there's so many things that we feel that we can still bring to Second Life. And he said to me, now that we're living together, why not, I mean, let's not kill our avatars, because that was the original idea. I mean, just to close the accounts and bid farewell and move on. But now that we in the process of moving together, and we have the fortunate to going to be living under the same roof, it's most likely that we're going to be staying in Second Life for good.
Well, good. Are you going to maybe pursue a new business, Giancarlo?
Do you have something in mind that you want to propose to me?
Well, I have a proposal around the corner every time. But for now, how about a wedding? We can do a beautiful Boston wedding for you two. How about that? Or did you guys get married already?
You know what? I mean, this is actually so funny that you mentioned. When Luna and I were talking, and when we were dating in real life, in Second Life, he said to me, "I want to have a wedding in Second Life." And I said, "Hell no! I mean, why have a wedding?" But now that you're offering, I mean, that's one thing that we'll talk tonight under the sheets and see what happens. You'll have to convince me to have a wedding in Second Life, that's for sure. But I'm sure that he can.
Sheets. Oh
I'm sure that he can manage to convince me, like he always does.
Okay, Giancarlo, one thing. A lot of Costa Rica residents are, maybe missing the old Giancarlo, and they're wondering whether it's going to be the same without you and your vision. What do you say to the people you left behind in Costa Rica? Because I don't really know Steve that well. I mean, I'm sure he has the best intentions to keeping Costa Rica together and running exactly the same as you had it. But the owner is the owner. You know what I mean? Sometimes I try to envision Boston in the hands of somebody else. Not that I'm not saying, that somebody else couldn't do it, and maybe even better than me, but it would be different. You understand?
Yes.
Yes. What do you say to those people who fell in love with your vision and who are now in the hands of maybe very capable hands, but different hands. What do you say to them?
We actually have no idea how many IMs Luna and I have been getting for the past week of people saying, don't go. I mean, this is funny. We actually had a resident at Costa Rica said, Giancarlo, I will give Luna and yourself a part of my land and you can move in with us, but I don't want you out of Costa Rica. I mean, it's really sweet. And actually, that's one of the reasons that Luna and I thought to ourselves, I mean, there's so many people that we really care in Second Life that we should give it another try. But I would say to the residents of Costa Rica, give the Dream Seekers team a chance. I mean, it is a very well-organized company. Is it going to be different? Yes, most likely. That doesn't mean that it's going to be worse than it was before. It could be better. Just give them a chance. I mean, they know how to run an estate. I mean, they have over 700 Sims. And hopefully, I mean, I've been having word with Sipster for a while, and the reason that I agree with the merger at first is because, I mean, he understood my original vision. I mean, as you said, I've been approached many, many, many times in the past for people to acquire Costa Rica Sims, but I always turned them down because I saw that they did not understand or they did not share my vision. But Sipster is one that did. So I think in the long run, everything will be fine for the residents.
All right. Well, good. And Zeev, I know you're listening somewhere. My greetings to you and congratulations for acquiring Costa Rica residents.
I didn't know that he was here.
He's not, but he has the stream and he is running it live. Yeah, congratulations, Zeev. And by the way, oh my God, you have 800 states now, 800 Sims. That's a lot of Sims. Dude, we need a sponsor. Please contact me. Let's make you a sponsor of our show. All right. Well, Giancarlo, that's all the time we have. I thank you, and
you brought me out of retirement. You brought me out of retirement for 15 minutes.
Yes, that's well, I don't know. Should we speak some more? Oh, Sipster Colasante just said thank you. And he's smiling. All right, Sipster, my congratulations to you again. All right, well, Giancarlo, thank you so much. 15 minutes is all we have, but Giancarlo, it takes a very honorable man to let go of one's passion and love, and you did it out of, you opened up Costa Rica out of love, and now you sold it out of love in real life.
And that sounds, yes, exactly.
Yeah. Exactly. Well, beautiful story, Jan, and I know you're going to be missing Costa Rica. I have a feeling in about 2 or 3 months you're going to go, oh my God, where is my business? and right there, when you get to that point, talk to me and we'll see what we can come up with, all right?
Fine. Perfect. My friend, as always, it's an honor to have you, for you to have me here, and thank you so much for everything. And Frolic, you know that I always tell this to people, you and Maddox Dupont and Kirk Lakemore were actually key elements for the success of Costa Rica Sims, and for that I always be grateful to you and the other two. So thank you very much, my friend, for being my friend for so many years, and I have a huge respect for you and everything that you have done here.
My absolute pleasure. Thank you, everybody, for joining us, and please come back on the 26th when we're going to have Miss Virtual World right here on the studio, along with many other finalists, and we're going to have a lot of fun. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Metaverse TV.
Bye-bye.
And we're out. Bye-bye.